Now it's time to speak about the irregular verbs in the Futuro Simple. To break them down, we're going to group them in 3 different categories. Group number 1, we can call them the E droppers. They will drop the E to form the conjugated form. These verbs just drop the E from the infinitive forms. For example, we have the verb poder, querer, saber. And as you see here on the screen, we drop the E to conjugate them in the Futuro Simple. So poder becomes podré, querer becomes querré. Be very careful with this double R because you need to say querré, querré. I know it can be very hard to make this sound, but it is a strong one. This is the strongest sound that we have for the R, querré. And then saber becomes sabré. For example, I will be able to go tomorrow. Yo podré ir mañana. Group number 2 is the D replacers. So we will swap an E or an I for a D. This usually happens so that the word is easier to say. For example, we have the verbs tener, salir, venir, poner. So that becomes tendré, saldré, vendré, pondré. For example, she'll be very hungry. Ella tendrá mucha hambre. Then we have group number 3. These verbs just don't follow the patterns from before. You kind of have to memorize them. For example, we have the verbs decir and hacer. They tend to be very short, so decir becomes diré and hacer becomes haré. For example, we will do the homework. Nosotros haremos la tarea. And this is a trick so that you can do the same conjugation with verbs that include another verb inside of them. For example, we have the verb poner, right? Which is to put. And you know the conjugation for poner. So now you can do the conjugation for suponer. So I will suppose becomes supondré. Then you have proponer, to propose. So the future conjugation for I will be propondré. It's the same ending as poner. Then you have tener, and we can do mantener, to keep, mantendré. And we have detener, to detain, detendré.